Welcome back to the Creative Tribe podcast. This is a podcast about all the things that fuel a creative lifestyle. I'm Brian.
And I'm Rita.
And together we are Label Me Other. Label Me Other as our production company. And our goals are to create creative problem solvers and to help you skyrocket in content creation. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, give us a like and a follow and subscribe wherever you may be watching or listening to this podcast. If you have any questions about content creation, starting a creative lifestyle, or if you just want to work with us, send us an email at labelmeother@gmail.com. New episodes of this podcast every Tuesday. All right, so let's go to our event session. This is where we get anything off of our chest that has us in a negative mood, because we believe that one of the keys to having a creative lifestyle is having the space to shake off any negative energy you may have stored within. So, Rita, do you have a vent today?
I do. So my vent for this week is reiterating the plan again and again and again. I feel like when it comes to work, like work, 9 to 5 work,
Mhm.
you present a plan. The plan seems to be like well received. The plan is in action, being worked in a sense. But then all of a sudden you get like this like new directive or this new tweaks to the plan, or like you start to see signs that people are not understanding the plan anymore. And
Mhm.
this is my vent. It's like I don't know. It's just that notion of having to like repeat and go over like like kind of like as I stated before, like per previous email, we cannot do XXX
Yeah.
because of XXX. But it's like constantly having to reiterate that this is not a possibility, or this is not a part of the original plan. The plan is this. We need to work this plan in order before
Mhm.
we can like expand it to other things. And so it's I don't know, Brian. I'm losing my patience for.
I mean, I think whenever you hit that, it's because, in my opinion, it's because what you're trying to do is not their main objective. It's like everybody, of course, obviously, everybody has a job to do,
Mhm.
right? And I think everybody is trying to do their job the easiest possible way.
Yeah.
And I think along the way, it's like they just lose track of what you're trying to do. And they're
Mm.
focused on, okay, well, how can I do my job the best? So that's why you may tell them something, and then they just go back and be like, well, okay, we're going to do it this way. And you're like, no, wait, didn't we talk about doing X, Y, and Z? And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, it's because like you're like what you're trying to do is not on the top of their list.
Yeah. And I think to your point, like pleasing our director, our like institutional director is on the top of that list. And so then it becomes if the institutional director says something, it's like we got to do this. We gotta X
Yeah.
every other plan, and let's go with this plan. Let's go with what this guy is saying. And arguably, yes, if your director, your big director is telling you something, but you have to kind of like read between the lines. And this is where little trust is lost within our organization. Is like
Yeah.
sometimes we aren't quite sure that they are understanding the assignment, like understanding the assignment. Like sometimes I feel like they don't have all the tools they need to properly understand the assignment. So a lot of times, and Brian can probably back me up here, it becomes like if Brian and Rita isn't in the room, we can't even get the assignment because they need to be in the room. And sometimes I see why, because it gets so conscrewed and like it just
Because they don't understand the language that that guy at the top is talking about. And a lot
yeah.
of times what that guy at the top is talking about is ill-informed because he doesn't know the full picture, because the people
Yeah, that's
above
true.
us can articulate what's really going on or the reasons why certain things are going on.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing his best by trying to offer help and suggestions, and it's just that the people that are above us take that and they just run with it in all different sorts of directions, a lot of times the wrong directions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
That's a great observation. For sure. For sure. So then it just becomes like us being informed at the bottom end and then him being ill-informed at the top end and nobody in the middle wanting to give him the proper information so he can be informed, or not understanding how to convey what we're trying to do on the lower end
Yeah.
properly. So then a lot of things that he may be suggesting or wanting could have been squashed had they known how to properly communicate what we're trying to achieve at the lower end.
Mhm.
So it goes back to like reiterating the plan and being like, well, we have a plan for that, but we need to work this plan in the steps that we have established or we're
Yeah.
trying to establish.
Yeah. Because I'm figuring out,
Yeah.
like, especially in our space, in our situation, that no one wants to tell the boss no, or no
Oh
one wants to
yeah.
take out the time to explain why uh what he's wanting can't happen, or why what he's wanting can happen, but it'll be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so if you come back to, like, if me or you try to go back up the ladder and be like, hey, this is not really going to work, they'll say, well, can we schedule a meeting and then you can tell him that. You guys can explain to him blah 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 blah, because
Why it can't work. Yeah.
they don't want to be the bearer of bad news to tell anyone no.
Yeah. They don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and they don't properly know how to articulate all the things that they need to say when he comes back with questions. Because our big guy he's pretty tech savvy. He's pretty knowledgeable, even above our direct supervisor. So then it becomes like, I don't want to look like I don't know what he's talking about,
Mhm.
So I need somebody in the room who knows what he's talking about. So,
So it's
but you're
like
right. Nobody wants to tell him no. Nobody wants to.
nobody wants to tell him no. I mean, and you can take the risk and use it to your advantage. I mean, because at least, whenever you do speak up, this person will know, okay, well, Rita is knowledgeable. She knows what she's
Yeah.
talking about compared to these other folks. So,
Yeah.
it can help, but it could be to your detriment, because I mean, you're going to be out there alone. I mean, well, in our situation, you won't be alone, but for other
Yeah.
people, it's like, well, they will toss you out there and be like, okay, well, you wanted to speak up about this, so now this whole project is on your shoulders.
Yeah. It's a
So
lot
you
of
have
that.
to be prepared for that,
Yeah. 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 It's wild. So
Yeah.
that's my vent. It's just feeling like you put yourself out there and then plans really morph without the proper structure or the knowledge or the know-how of why they're morphing just because someone said it and you didn't know how to refute that.
Right.
uh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
Yeah. Well, my event has turned into the topic of this episode. And so I'm a filmmaker,
Mhm.
and I love going to the movies. And I loved, in past tense, I loved going to the movies. I love the whole experience. And
Yeah.
so what I'm about to say, people will probably say, well, Brian, it's been like that for like the past like 10 years, like it's been going downhill. But it just really just hit me when I recently I went to go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and I was really excited about the movie. Hopefully that it'll be better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the last Indiana Jones movie.
Not hard to do.
So I'm walking in to our movie theaters. I'm going to a Regal Cinema, and
Hmm.
normally whenever I walk in, like, I know, like, post COVID, the little box office, no
Hmm.
one's there anymore. There's no one staffing it, but at least they would have like the monitors on showing you like the show times.
Hmm.
And the I walked in this time and the monitors were off.
Mm.
And it's like, it just really just kind of like, huh. It's like no monitors with the showtime. It's like, it's already bad enough. Like, you can't walk up to the box office and talk to someone and tell them what you want to see,
Hmm.
and do all that. They move it all to the concession stand,
Yeah.
which is like, that's the concession stand. It's meant for buying food and snacks and stuff. I'm not supposed to buy my tickets here. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
at the box office. It's about the whole experience of going to the theater.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like, that kind of hit me. I was like, huh, okay. And then so I go in, and the line is like super long.
Is it?
The line was super long. It was one person. It was a manager, and then it was just this one lowly, just, I'm not gonna say lowly, but it was one. She looked sad. Like, she was like she looked like she needed help.
Mm,
But it was just her and the
dang.
manager taking care of all these people who are trying to, like, this was like during, like, prime time movie time. So it
Mm.
was like, 6, 7 o'clock. People, and it's on the weekend. People ain't got nothing to
Oh
do. They
yeah,
going to the
yeah,
movies. People are out.
yeah.
And it just took forever to like try to get some. So I didn't even get anything. I was like, all right,
Dang.
I'm not even gonna get anything.
Ah.
So I was like, well, I get my phone out because of course, I'm a part of the Regal subscriber thing. So, I'm getting out my phone so I can go to the ticket person so they can, scan my ticket or whatever on my phone, the QR code.
Uh-huh.
No one's there.
Dang.
No one's there. So literally, you could just walk if you wanted to just at this Regal Cinema, if you wanted to just walk, because this isn't the first time, but it's just really just all this stuff is just compounding on each other.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one's
yeah.
there. You could just walk in and go see a movie if you wanted to.
I'm not gonna lie, I know which one you're talking about. And
Mm-hmm.
I am guilty of buying like senior citizen tickets. Just being like, we're gonna be a senior today. Because
Yeah,
there's nobody
there's
there. Like you
no one
literally just
there.
go to the thing, get a senior ticket. Hey, I could probably buy 2 kid tickets for $6 and be like, okay.
No one,
Yeah.
no one was there. So I'm
And
like,
and this is a large cinema. I'm just gonna say, people, this is probably
yeah,
like 18, maybe 18 theaters
yeah. It's like
cinema. I
it's
mean,
like
it's
12. It's
big.
like yeah. There's a lot of screens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of screens, and it's in a mall.
Yeah.
Um, So I go through that. I was like, hey, damn, nobody's here. So I go
Mhm.
into the theater and there's like trash all over the place. Now, I understand movie theaters. I understand that these things are rolling back to back to back. You really can't get in there to like clean. They try to clean whenever they can. Sometimes they start cleaning whenever the credits are rolling, sometimes, to try
Yeah.
to get a head start. It looked like no one cleaned from the day before. And this is like I said, this
Ooh.
is like a 6, 7 o'clock showing. So they had all day.
Yikes.
So that means that this stuff has been sitting in there because it was so much. I was like, this couldn't possibly be from today. This is
Oh
like a
man.
couple of days. And so I sit in, it's
Yikes.
like the rolls were all dirty. It's like popcorn. It's like just it was just, it was just more than the norm. I understand, sticky floors. This is a part of going, so that's a part of the experience, sticky floors. But whenever I'm tripping over like cups and popcorn buckets and bags, it's like, yo, it's
Yeah.
like, do we not care? It's
Yeah.
like, are we not caring about the money that people are spending in their experience? So even after all that, Rita, I looked past all that. I was like, okay, well, I'm here for the movie. I'm here to watch this. I'm not here for, at least I can get this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with some of these theaters, but it's just the projection. My like the screen that I was in, the projection was really dark. Like it
Mm.
had some kind of like film, like nasty, like dirt. Like it seems like somebody need to get like some Windex and spray it on the lens and clean it off. It's like it
Oh
was
dang.
just gross. It was dark. It was darker than normal. I'm like, this can't possibly be the way that they made this movie. This movie can't possibly be this dark.
No, this wasn't the IMAX theater. This is just a regular like
This is
two
regular
2D
screen,
theater.
regular
Okay.
regular screen. It wasn't like the RPX or what
Okay.
Regal does, like with the, I don't know. It seems like they just turn the sound up louder, but it wasn't any special screen. It was just and it
Hmm.
wasn't one of the smaller rooms. It was like one of those mid-size
Oh
uh
wow.
screens,
Theaters.
like one of those mid-size auditoriums, and like the projection was bad. So there were scenes where Indiana Jones was they were underwater and they were
Mm.
trying to retrieve something from this underwater, like I think it's like a boat or something,
Hmm.
and I couldn't see anything. It was
Did,
literally like it was very tough for me to see anything.
so here's my $1 million question. Did you get your money back? Did you request it or
But see, but I'm
anything?
I'm with the subscription.
Ah,
So I mean, the only thing I mean, because I didn't buy any popcorn, I just got the ticket. The only thing I paid was 55 cents for the surcharge. When
oh,
you're in the Regal Crown Club, the little subscription thing, you only,
okay,
I mean, like
okay.
if I bought my ticket at the theater, it would have been absolutely free, but I bought it on my phone and it's just 55 cents. So I would
I
be getting
got you.
55 cents back.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's nothing to really get back. Or they might would have gave you like a comped popcorn or something crazy,
Yeah.
but
And then it's
uh,
just like, you another thing about the experience is like you're seeing it with other people. You're in the space, even though
Mhm.
it's dark, but you're in there with other people experiencing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just no one was it was like maybe one other person in the theater with me whenever
Mhm.
I saw it. So I was like, dang, I was like, I might as well watch this at home. I might as well wait for this to come to Disney Plus and
Mhm.
watch it at home. It's like the whole experience is like gone. And it
Yeah.
made me just really sad. I'm like, I don't think things will ever go back. Even if there's like a super duper popular movie, I don't think it'll ever get back to the movie going experience that we grew up with.
Yeah. And it's like sadly these theaters have been running on skeleton crews and they're noticing, oh, well, we can survive on a skeleton cruise with a minimal, you know, bad feedback from the audience. So, this is a great thing. We got this big old 18 theaters spot with like three people in there. One
Three
for the
people in there.
concession, a manager to cash out the drawer, and then one to clean the theater. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
why do we need to invest in like 25 more people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I'm I,
know that Regal is, they just a couple months ago, they filed for bankruptcy. So they're trying to climb their way out of that. But it's
mhm.
like, when you're popcorn, it's like this is how you really tell like no one's coming to the theater because they popped this popcorn at the
Yep.
top of the day. And it was
Hmm.
like, and not the time that I went that I'm talking about now when I went to go see Indiana Jones, but previously, that popcorn is stale because it's just sitting out all day and no one's eating it because there's no one coming to the theaters
Yep.
and they're not popping like a fresh batch. They're selling that stale popcorn that's been sitting out all day.
That happened to me. We went to go see dang, I can't think of which movie it was at this moment. I'll think of it in a second. But my popcorn was stale, which Regal, you get a lot of free points. So my
Mm,
popcorn is free usually. Use, whatever, 7,000 points or whatever, you get a free small popcorn. But
yeah.
it was still brown. And I was like, I told them, I said, listen, I need a fresh popcorn. And they're like, of course, little high school students or whatever. Oh, it's gonna be a while. Okay, how long? Oh, like they weren't expecting me to be like, I'll wait. So
No,
I
because
was
they weren't
like,
planning on popping anything.
yeah. And I
They weren't
go,
planning on it
I'm not eating this stale popcorn. You're gonna have to pop me some more. And they're like, okay, it'll be 10 minutes. I was like, all right, cool. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna wait right here for this
for this
fresh
fresh hot
popcorn.
popcorn.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's the experience that makes people want to come back. Like, yeah, we're here for the movie, but it's also the other stuff. And when
Hmm.
the other stuff is going away, it's like, well, I'm just stuck with the movie and I'll just wait because the window that you have to wait to see a movie outside a theater is super short now.
It is super
It's
short.
super short. And so,
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like I'll just wait the month
yeah. And I think a
versus
lot
where
of
you,
people have hit that.
yeah, versus like how you used to. You'd be like, well, you have to wait 4 or 5 months, half a year before you can see this movie again, before you could possibly rent it or buy it. It's like
Yeah,
it's a month or
yeah,
two, depending on how popular it is.
yeah, yeah. It's
And
true.
it's like,
I'll admit I've experienced a lot of things that you're saying, especially with that particular theater, and it's sad, and it does make you. It's the closest one, probably to you too, to me, to both of us. It's the
mhm,
closest theater to us, and so it's like that notion of like, oh, do I want to drive 20 minutes to go to the other theater, or do I want to drive
yeah,
25 minutes to go to a different theater? And so it's kind of like all you got in the area, but yeah, yeah, it does diminish the experience a lot, and it is like to the point where you're just like, wow, why not just wait? I figured out what it was. It was Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man
oh,
animated movie.
across the yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what we went to see. But I mean, I don't know. I do feel like it's going down, and it's like, how do you revive? Like at this point, how do you revive it? Like you get a couple blockbusters. Even then, I don't know if it would be enough to like
No,
ramp the movie experience back up.
I think real cinema files and people who love going to the movie theaters, like I feel like independent movie theaters can pull it off as long as you focus on the experience. As long as you have decent projection and you keep that experience of coming in, smelling the popcorn, getting the popcorn. It's like, clean theater, nice seat. If you
Hmm.
focus on those things, I feel like you can keep it alive. But I feel like some of these bigger corporate, some of these bigger theater chains, it's like they're not even trying.
Let me tell you what I think what would save the movie theaters. Like, okay, imagine if like the movie theater companies, like the Regal, the Cinemark, right? They put a little investment pile or whatever into getting like these people from the movie, maybe not like the A-list stars, but like a nice B-lister, C-lister, right? And they
Mhm.
have these showings and they're like, who you never know who may pop up in your screening, right? And then they could have these like actors or whatever fly out at the end of your film. They pop out and thank people for coming to the movie. Just random theaters around the thing as kind of like a promotion, and also to get people interested in coming back to the movies. Like, don't you think that would like pull people in where they'd be like, oh man, I could have a chance to meet X star, if I were to go to the movies?
I mean, I feel like
Maybe.
that would only work in like big markets. So that's only going to work in like a
Yeah.
LA or like a New York or maybe like a Chicago. It's like
Yeah.
these smaller markets where we're from. It's like I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, and then even then, it's like unless you're like a big celebrity that I'm really interested in that I want to see,
Yeah.
I don't really care. I care about what I paid for, and I paid
Mhm.
for a movie theater experience. I paid for
Yeah.
everything that comes along with going to the theater.
Yeah.
I it's like I want to come in and I want to. I mean, just at the very least, it's like at the very least, get your projection right.
That's
It's
true.
like
Yeah.
get it right. I mean, just clean the
Yeah.
lens. It's like make sure that what people pay for
Is what
is
they're
like
getting.
is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I can say that. And not to make this a review, just in like one or two words, was the Indiana Jones, was it worth it? Was it the part you
Um,
could see?
no, I liked it. It's definitely better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Mhm.
So like my ranking of these Indiana Jones movies, it goes Temple of Doom, it goes The
Oh
Last
yeah.
Crusade, it goes Raiders of the Lost Ark, the new one, Dial of Destiny, and then at the bottom is Kingdom of the Crystal
Chris.
Skull. But those great.
Yeah.
But there were some missed opportunities.
Mm.
I think certain characters should just die. I feel like this was a good opportunity. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a good opportunity to
Take some people out.
to finish it. Be like, okay, this is the period. This is it for Indiana Jones. Like this is his story. The
Mm.
opportunity to end it in a pretty cool way, and they didn't.
Mm.
Because you want to make more.
Indy is
I,
there. Indy is there.
and I don't know if Harrison Ford is in for it, but this would have
Mm.
been the best swan song for the character, I
Mm.
think, in a pretty interesting way. But they didn't. They didn't.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I think I'm like I give it like a if it was out of rating it out of a scale of like 10, I'll give it like a 4.5, 4.5, 5.
Is that good? 4.5 out of 10?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'm a
that's
fan of Indiana Jones. Okay, so I'll get into my reasonings. Okay, I know we're supposed to try to keep it short, and it's like this is in my movie review bug. I like talking about the movies, but um, I like dark Indiana Jones. That's why Temple of Doom is my favorite Indiana Jones movie because it's so dark.
mhm.
They really like got into like the dark Indiana Jones bag in this one.
Okay.
So
Mm.
that's why I really I dug the tone.
Well, my argument is that 4.5 is pretty low. That's less than half. So that's why I was like, is that a high? Is
Well,
that pretty good? That's more like,
yeah, I mean, I think for this movie, yeah, it's 4.5. It's entertaining. You have to like come into it knowing like what you want out of Indiana Jones movie. And I've always wanted another dark Indiana Jones movie. So I
okay.
mean that kind of boosted it up. But I think the main thing that kind of that kind of dings the movie, brings it down, is that they had a great opportunity to send that man off, that character off, in a pretty
Hmm.
cool way. And it was very obvious that they didn't do that so they can make more Indiana Jones movies, or at least to use the name Indiana Jones.
I got you. Huh. I definitely got to check it out. I did receive someone else told me a slight review, not like a in detail review. It was just like, in their opinion, it was the best Indiana Jones movie out of all of them, and I was like,
Like
that's
that's
saying
cap.
something.
That's cap. That there's no there is like I don't know. Well,
I don't know,
like
but I was like, what? Nah, I
no,
gotta
it's
go
like
now.
no, it's not the best. I mean, because ultimately, it's like even though I'm in love with Dark Indiana Jones and I put Temple of Doom at number one, I mean, the best one is The Last Crusade. Like that's the best. Like that's the best Indiana Jones in my opinion. But I like the dark stuff. I whenever like Temple of Doom was my first introduction to Indiana Jones, and I just love everything about that movie.
Yeah.
But to
Okay.
say that the Dial of Destiny is the best, I don't know. I mean, I know that's that person's opinion, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's that's a hot take right there.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna. I mean, I love Indiana. Harrison Ford is like one of my top actors. Like, love him, love him. So I gotta go see it for sure.
No, I
But
mean, it has arguably one of the best openers to an Indiana Jones movie.
okay,
So I mean,
man,
I mean, it starts and it rolls. I
nice,
mean,
nice.
it
Ooh,
rolls and then it hits certain points and you're kind of like, all right. And it's
gotcha.
like, so it's one of those things where it's like, it starts out really, really high. Like, okay, yeah, this is great. And then it's like, just incrementally, it's kind of like, okay, the decision making
Mm.
with the script, you're like, okay, I don't know.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. I'm excited to try that one.
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what they got going. So
I mean, but guys, if you're listening, you're watching, let us know. Let us know. It's like, am I wrong? It's like, is the thrill gone with movie theaters? It's like, is that experience over? Can we get it back? Do you think it's going to come back? It's like, what will it take for it to come back? But right now, I'm convinced, and Rita knows, it's like I've been calling this for a long time, saying, hey, we are coming to the end of the movie going, like the theater experience that we know is coming to an end, but it's like just to really see it happening, it's
yeah,
sad. Because it's
it
like
is sad.
that's my filmmaking identity. A big chunk of it is going to the movies.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But I feel like it's been declining all over in my personal life. Like, not only is this like not going to the movie, but I also feel like, well, Brian, my gosh, we did a whole. For those you don't know, we had a review channel, and we watched easily like 200 to 300 movies in one year and reviewed
Mm-hmm.
them. And so since then, it's not like I got burnt out because I love movies, but I haven't been watching movies like that. Like,
Mm-mm.
I have movies that's been out for like a couple weeks to months, and I'm like, every time I go on Netflix, I need to watch that. So it's just, I don't know what's going on with me personally, but it's just like my movie stuff is, I'm slacking. I used to be like Thursday night coming out, I'm
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm at the movie, we
Yep.
watching it, we hitting a
Watching it.
review that Saturday, and I got it in. But now I'm just like, oh, that came out 3 weeks ago. I'm behind. I need to catch up,
Yeah. But
We
then
been
whenever I go to Disney Plus or I go to Hulu or I'm searching through like Amazon, I see like, oh, that movie I missed. I can rent that.
right.
I can
It's true.
just watch it right here.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and it's just yeah, it's there's tons of big time movies that I have not seen, and I'm
Okay.
not even tripping about it. It's like
Okay, so you too.
the enthusiasm is I haven't seen Guardians 3. Not
Me
really tripping.
either.
Not really tripping.
Yeah,
But the thing is, like, I know that pretty soon it's gonna be on Disney Plus.
it is.
I can just
I'll
watch
tell
it
you
there.
what, I am tripping a little bit on that one. I haven't seen it either, but I think I'm tripping on it because I'm like, I've seen every other Marvel movie in theaters,
Me
and it's a
too.
theater experience. And I'm like, I don't want it to slip me by. But at the same token, it's like, it's hard. I'm hard pressed to find it at this point.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's weird. It's a weird time to be
Yeah, so it's like we're really
experiencing this.
there. We're people are there, yes, to watch the movie, but I think it's the experience and the other things that go along with it that really makes the thing special. Uh,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, fair.
it's just it's sad. But anyway,
Oh yeah,
mastering your
yeah.
own destiny. You have an update?
Okay, so a while back, I decided to take control of my own destiny by embodying who I wanted to become. And every day I actively channel being a successful creative director, and I bring that energy with me to my work until it becomes my new reality. And this week's update is that being in the eye of the storm is exhausting. It's
Mm,
exhausting. It's just that notion of like trying to stay zen, trying to be in the right mental state, and then around you all these things are happening, personal and work related, and it's just
mm,
like it's just hard to stay calm in the middle, to be like, okay, this is the plan, this is what we're going with. And so I think to balance all of that for me, um I'm focusing a lot on my personal life right now, a little bit, trying to get some things in order there,
mhm.
and then hoping to pick back up onto, into this realm here. But yeah, it's just that notion of being in the middle and having like all this crap occurring around you, and staying calm in it. But I'm sticking it through. I'm hoping to go back in 100% into this really soon, and
Mhm.
so I'll have more updates then. But we'll see, guys. We'll see.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to leave you guys with a leadership quote. There's this quote that Kev on Stage. If you don't know who Kev on Stage is, he's a comedian. He's a content creator, and he basically created his own like production studio where he brings in all of his comedian friends and other content creators, and they create things, really, really good content. So you should check him out, Kev on Stage. But he was on this podcast and he made this statement that like really hit my core, that I really, really, truly believe in to my core. And I just want to share it with you guys. So he was talking about all the people that he was working with, and some people saying that he was taking on too much, as far as being involved and what was going on with his production company. They're like, hey, when you're the guy at the top, you own the place, you don't have to be so involved. And Kev says that you get the best out of the team when you're an active part in it.
Mm,
And he said that has been like a real key to his success with his production company, is that you get the best out of your team when you're an active part in it. Like you're not
yeah.
deflecting, you're not putting it up on someone else, but no, you're actually actively involved. And he says that the people see that you're involved and see that you care, and they give you more. They're more invested. And it's like, that's how, if you're trying to be a leader or you're in a leadership position and you want to get more out of your team, you want to get the best out of your team, you want the team morale to like skyrocket, then you have to be an active part in it, like a
Yeah.
truly active part in what's being created. And I'm not talking about, oh, well, my active part is that I'm organizing this or I'm doing this. Like, no, have an active part in the true creation of whatever's being made.
Yeah, yeah. It's something to be said about like looking to your left and your right and being like, oh, that's my big boss right there. That's my boss who's sitting there rolling up a cord or picking up whatever, or you know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just something to be said, to look over your shoulder and be like, that person, he cuts me my check and he's actually right here beside me helping do something, or
Yeah.
helping, create something, or helping do whatever part that they can do. It does fill you up. And that's an important part of like being like a creative, is trying to figure out how to pull people together who want to give more. Like it's a I want to study this. I really want to study this, and like how you get people, not get people, but how you empower people to do more than they normally would, to do more than just getting a paycheck, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
how does that
Right.
work?
Yeah, I agree. So there you go. Kev
It's
on
interesting.
Stage said you get the best out of the team when you're an active part in it. So
Yeah. Good
take that.
stuff.
All right. So here we go, guys. I want to thank you all for listening. If you like what we're providing here, please head over to our TikTok, search for Label Me Other, and join our creative tribe. If you like the podcast, be sure to give us a like and a follow, subscribe wherever you may be listening or watching.
Mhm.
And if you have any questions for me and Rita about content creation, about starting a creative lifestyle, or if you just want to work with us, email us at labelmeother@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.